Yes! Aren't you excited for math? Lesson 6-3, metric conversions. We're going to learn how to convert between different metric measurements. All right, big lesson. Today's lesson will build into all the rest of the week, so pay attention. Here we go. All right, here we have a chart from the book. If you want to turn your books to page 239, what we're talking about today is we're going to talk about specifically capacity, but I'm going to talk even broader. I'm going to talk about the system in which we use the metric system. The metric system we use for measurement, which is in meters. We use it in capacity, which is liters, liquid volume. Okay. We also use it for weight, which we'll talk more about tomorrow, and that's in grams. Okay, the metric system works the same way for all three. Okay, if you look down at the chart that I made in black, from the left to right it says kilo, then hecto, then deca, then a blank space, then deci, then centi, then milli. Okay, compare that to this chart above. Whoops, not supposed to be writing on it, supposed to be moving it. Compare that to this chart right here. Notice we've got kilo, liter. Okay, we've got the word kilo there. We also have the word liter. Okay, hecto, liter, deca, liter, liter, deciliter, centiliter, milliliter. All those words with the word liter there. Okay, this will be the same tomorrow if we put in the word gram. We can have kilogram, hectogram, decagram, gram, decigram, centigram, and milligram. We can also have meter. So this scale we're going to learn today applies to all three. Okay, you've heard of a kilometer or kilometer before, a centimeter, a millimeter, and a meter. All three of these systems work together. Okay, how do they work? Well, you can see each one is going from right to left in the way we write our number values. Instead of left to right, we're going the opposite direction. First we have liter, gram, and meter right in the middle. I'm actually going to move this down just a little bit more so that I can write the word liter up here as well. Okay, if we start down here at the bottom at milliliter, notice 0.001, that's 1 milliliter. That's how we write 1 milliliter in decimal form. Okay, a centiliter is 10 milliliters. So to multiply times 10 to get 1 centiliter, it takes 10 milliliters to make 1 centiliter. And to write 1 centiliter in decimal form is 0.01. To write 1 deciliter in decimal form, that's 1/10. See how place value is kind of following us here? And then we have 1 liter. 10 of those is 10 decaliters. 10 liters is 1 deciliter, which is 10 liters. 10 decaliters or 100 equals 1 hectoliter, so that's 100 liters. And then 1,000 liters is equal to 1 kiloliter. Whoops, that should be 1,000, not 1,001. Okay, so these numbers I just wrote down, the value, one of those is value compared to a liter. Okay, so 1 deciliter in this column, right here, 1 deciliter in this column is equal to 10 liters. Okay, we're building. Okay, how does this kind of chart help us whenever we're actually doing conversions? Well, let's look at the next page and find out. Okay, I put this one into a stair form. So we're going to put liter, since we're working on liters here today. Okay, if I have a certain number of any of these, okay, and this, of course, I can put liter in here, liter here, decaliter, deciliter, centiliter, and milliliter right there. Okay, let's say that I have 4 centiliters, okay? Okay, well, the centiliters is here in this spot right here, okay? And let's say I want to say, well, how many decaliters is 4 centiliters? Well, that's up here. How many spots on the stairs do I have to move? I have to move 1, 2, 3, and I'm moving to the left. So I'm going to take my decimal, 4 centiliters, 1, 2, 3 spots to the left, put my decimal there and fill them with zeros. 4 centiliters is equal to 0.004 decaliters by simply moving the decimal. Okay, get rid of all that silly red writing now. Let's look at some of these from the book to help us use this moving the decimal idea to convert. Okay, with using the staircase or going back and using it left to right, I like the staircase because you know these are the kiloliters are bigger than the milliliters. So the staircase just makes it the values of the sizes of each one, but I move them by position. Okay, see if I can bring this down here. Make it big. Whoops, wrong one to make big. That was crazy. Come on. I can't get it. Okay, well that backfired. Let's make you small. Make you big first. Come on. There it goes. Whew, that was tough. Now I can make this big again. It wasn't quite working out the plan. Okay, number 1 says I have 1 kilogram. Okay, so I'm going to put a number 1 up here in blue. 1 kilogram. Well, that's that's funny. Okay, I think I fixed the problem now. You need to take a picture of the wrong problems. It makes it confusing. Okay, now it says the right values. Now it says kiloliters. Okay, same number, different value. So 1 kiloliter, that's way up top up here. Okay, so if I want to find out how many liters that is, how many places do I have to move the decimal? I have to move it down 1, 2, 3 places to get the liter. Okay, to the right, decimals here, 1 kiloliter, 1, 2, 3 to the right, fill in with zeros, put my new decimal in. That is 1,000 liters. 1,000 liters. By simply moving the decimal, however many places it took to get from kiloliters to liters, I'm moving to the right, so I move the decimal to the right. Okay, let's try that with another one. Get rid of all these blue marks here. Get rid of my number. Of course, that one's stuck. That's okay. Let's go to number 2. Now we have 1,500 decimals right there. Milliliters. Okay, well that's starting down here. From milliliters, we're trying to get to liters. So for milliliters, I move 1, 2, 3 places to the left. 1, 2, 3 places to the left. There's my new decimal. That is 1.5 liters. See how that works? We use this to move the decimal. Okay? Let's have you try 3, 4, 5, and 6. You can actually use the chart that goes left to right that's in your book. It's the same exact chart. All I've done here is make it in stairs for values to see it, but you don't have to. Just know it from the right or left, moving the decimal in the first number to move from that value to the next one. So try 3, 4, 5, and 6, and we'll check your answers in a moment. All right. Let's check those answers here. See if I can't make this smaller over in the corner. Make this bigger. All right. Now we had here 1.5 liters. Okay, 3,000 liters to kiloliters. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 to the left. That would be 3 kiloliters. 4.5 liters to milliliters. That's moving 1, 2, 3 to the right. So move the decimal 1, 2, 3 to the right. That's 4,500 milliliters. From 2 kiloliters to 1 liter. That's going to go 1, 2, 3 to the right. That's going to make it 2,000 liters. That's a comma. And then from 500 milliliters to liters, that's going to be 1, 2, 3 to the left. That's going to be 0.5 liters. 500 milliliters, or half of a liter. All right. That's how we use the metric version, moving the decimal. It's simple. Put the decimal in, move it, fill it in based on where you're going on the chart. Okay. Now we're going to look at the other system of measurement today, customary units of measure. Mr. Woody, if we're talking about customary units of measure, why do you have a gigantic G on the screen? Well, this G represents 1 gallon. Okay. If you turn your books to page 240, you're going to see another chart in blue, similar to the one for liters, but this is different. Customary units of measure. You see gallons, quarts, pints, and cups. Well, I'm going to create a visual for you that helps you know how many of these are in a gallon. Okay, I've got the giant G, so 1 gallon. Within a gallon, I can have 4 quarts. It takes 4 quarts to make up 1 gallon. See the 4 quarts in 1 gallon? Okay. The next thing I do was I know in each quart I have 2 pints. 2 pints in each quart. Well, what does that tell me when it relates to the gallon? Well, that tells me there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pints in 1 gallon. Okay. And now it takes 2 cups to make 1 pint. 2 C's in every P. So that tells me there's 16 cups in 1 gallon, 4 cups in a quart, 2 cups in each pint. So this chart here, where you have 1 G, 4 Q's, inside each Q you have 2 P's, and inside each P you have 2 C's. You make that, you have the same chart, you have a visual. This is something that you can learn. We can practice and memorize, and you can actually write down when you get to a problem like this on the NWAs and MCA tests. Okay, so this chart, don't forget it. I'll actually create one and put it up on the board so you can see it, and you can make one, put it in your math notebook, put it somewhere. Maybe you want to draw it or screenshot this page in the video later so you have this. You don't even have to make it. Yeah, screenshot it so that you can have this at your disposal to look at. Okay, but we're going to look at the chart now that's in the book on page 240. Okay, it shows 1 gallon equals 4 quarts, which we showed, and 4 quarts is equal to 8 pints, which is also 1 gallon is equal to 8 pints. There were 8 P's in the G. And then 16 cups. We also have it in fractions. Okay, so we have on this chart now, by using fractions, we say, okay, if we have 1 quart, how many gallons is that? By fractions. 1 quart is equal to 1/4 of a gallon, and that's 2 pints and 4 cups. And what if we have 1 pint? That's 1/4 of a quart, and that's 1/8 of a gallon. So we have fractions. This chart helps us to see that fractions of portions. Okay, on the chart on the previous page, if you have 1 quart, you can see it takes 4 of those, so that's 1/4 of a gallon. So we have to go both ways, but we're using fractions now. Okay, get rid of these circles here. Let's use this chart and just answer some questions to see how well we do on it. Okay, let me bring up the book page here. Okay, what fraction of 1 gallon is 3 quarts? Okay, Well, how many quarts does it take to make up 1 gallon? That denominator. 3 could take, for quarts, it takes 4 quarts to make 1 gallon. That's our denominator. And then 3 of those we have. So that's 3/4 of a gallon. 3 quarts is 3/4 of a gallon. Okay, number 11. What fraction of 1 quart is 1 pint? Okay, so we're looking at quarts and pints here. 1 quart, and it takes 2 pints to make 1 quart. So that's our denominator, 2 pints to make that 1 quart. And how many pints do we have? We have 1 of them. 1/2 of a quart. 1 pint is equal to 1/2 of a quart. Okay, look at the charts. Solve number 12 and number 13 on your own. Pause your video, come back when you're done. Okay, number 12 says, what fraction of 1 quart is 1 cup? Well, 1 quart is the whole. Whoops. 1 quart is the whole. We're looking at cups. How many cups does it make to make a quart? 4. How many do we have? 1. 1/4 of a quart. 1 cup is equal to 1/4 of a quart. What fraction of 1 gallon is 1 pint? Well, we have what fraction of 1 gallon, that's the whole, is 1 pint. Well, it takes 8 of those to make 1 gallon. And how many do we have? We have 1 of them, so 1/8 of a gallon. 1 pint is 1/8 of a gallon. So we have to look at the whole part that we're looking at, comparing it to, and then what we've got, how many of those does it take to make the 1 whole? That's our denominator. Then how many we have is the numerator. All right, you're going to be doing problems like this in your homework assignment. And it is time. Homework 6-3. Notice there's not remembering with it. It's homework 6-3, and now we're doing our first day of our I can statements checklists. Checklist number 1. Okay, what is the I can statement? For number 1, it says I can divide numbers with 2-digit divisors. On the checklist, that asks you to do IXL D10 and packet pages 49 through 50. Okay, those are what your homework are. So you've got homework page, an IXL page, and the 2 packet pages that are in your packets from the MCA packet. Okay, so let's actually add MCA there. MCA checklist number 1. Plenty to work on. If you have questions, make sure to ask. Conversions. Once you understand the charts, it's quite simple. You just use the charts, plug in what you need. Good luck.